I'm here today to present to you information and some of the research I've done on UFOs. This is just a little bit of humor. What is a UFO? UFOs were coined in 1952, attributed to extraterrestrial life, interchangeably with flying saucers, and also called disc. The first abductees were Betty and Barney Hill. As you can see, they're an older couple, an interracial couple also, which probably added fuel to their situation back then, and here's a simulation of them being abducted. This is an actual plaque that was placed on the road where they were abducted with the information on the plaque. And it was 1951 when they were abducted. And that was all in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And the official report was filed. They went through hypnosis to bring out the truth, and under hypnosis, it showed that they were actually abducted. UFO sightings. The first reported crash in 1897 happened in Aurora, Texas. And it crashed into a windmill, and it's just shattered and went all over the place, and it was investigated. Here's a simulation of the UFO crashing into a windmill back then. As you can see, UFOs have been around for a very, very long time. There's been many, many, many reports. There's been many abductions. So, I have some clips or photos of some original pictures that date way back, way before Photoshop. So these photos here are not Photoshopped. These are actual original photos that came out of family albums. The first one was taken in West Virginia, and you can see the UFO is over to the right. Even our U.S. Capitol, right over the Capitol building in the 50s. There was like a fleet of UFOs that flew over the U.S. Capitol. And there's an actual video clippage of the fleet flying. This is just a photo. During World War II in China, there was a UFO flying over China at the time. Also in South Africa in 1956. Florida is a hot spot, and there's many, many hot spots, but Florida is very well known to have many UFOs. So if you're out on the beach one day, pay attention to the sky, because you never know what you might see. This is an actual UFO at Vero Beach, which was also taken in 2015, which was taken here recently. This is also at Vero Beach. Interesting. Now, I'm going to go into my story, and this is really, it really did happen. And this was back in 1989, when I was a struggling mother, living off of oodles and noodles back then it was called, but now you guys may call them ramen noodles. But, you know, times were hard. I didn't have a car at the time, and my mother had purchased a car for me to drive. And the car, it was a little white Ford Escort. It had red interior. It was a cool little car, but it wasn't what I was used to driving. I was used to driving like Camaros and Mustangs, and you know, put the pedal to the metal, and you know, little Ford Escort. It got me to A and B. So So one day, and I also took care of my parents because they couldn't drive. And the little town I lived in was called Waldorf, Maryland. And it was little, back in the 50s, it was like a little swing town. You know, movie stars would come through, play music, you know, it was like a casino type area. Well, today it's not, it's just built up and it's an entirely different town. But this is where I grew up, and I knew every road, back and forth, every little section that needed to be known. So I needed to go over and pick up my mother and take her to the store. So I'm driving down the road, and of course, instead of going down the main highway, I go down a little back road. And as I'm going down this little road, the little road, there's nothing on it. It's about 2 miles long. There's nothing but country on each side, woods and fields. And I'm going down and I see this object up in the sky. It's a weird looking little object because it's way off in the distance. It's kind of got this thing coming from the bottom, and it's kind of roundish, you know, from a distance looking, and it's moving very erratically. It's going straight up, straight to that side, and then straight back to the side, and it keeps doing this. And I go down the little road, and I go up the hill, and I go to the stop sign, and I sit there, and I watch this object. So not knowing what it was, I even thought it might be, oh, is that an upside down helicopter? You have all kinds of thoughts going through your head. So I go onto my mother's and I go in, get her list, and I come back out. And when I come back out, where she lived in townhouses, and there's like a drainage pond, and then there's a little hill area with more townhouses. And this is what I saw, floating, practically standing still over top of the townhouses on the hill. And I'm not that far from it, and this is a very huge object. I would say it was the size of 2 train engines put together, okay? And the weird thing about this object is it had a black tube coming from it. And it just, it was moving very, very slow. The object was silver or metallic. It had no lights on it. It had no propel system of any kind. It made no sound. And the strange thing about this object was, as it floated on and as it went over top of the woods, the forest, it sort of, not disappeared, but it kind of went into its environment, if you can understand what I'm trying to say. Then, through my research, because it's the only one I could, I could not find any other flying saucers or UFOs that looked like what I had saw that day. I even at one time reported it to MUFON, if any of you are familiar with MUFON. I found this one that was over Guatemala, and there was over 100 witnesses witnessed this particular UFO, which, as you can see, looks like what I saw, except it does have the dark brown bottom, but there's no tube coming out, which, as you can see, possibly a tube could be coming out of that. And one of my questions that's always crossed my mind, what if they come here to visit us? Would they be our enemies, or would they be our friends? You all know I like Grand Theft Auto. So I saw this and I just had to put it on here. I didn't even know that Grand Theft had UFOs in it, so now I got to go on there and find where the UFO is. Grand Theft Auto. And I'm sure you all are familiar with Roswell. Well, you know how women drivers are. Ladies, don't take it offensively, but and now I'm coming into my conclusion. And this is a very interesting video clip. And what you need to do is, you see the round object over to the right-hand side. That is probably just a reflection on my camera from the sun. But once that goes down to the left-hand side of the screen, pay closely attention, and you will see a UFO. Over the Thunderbirds go around in their loop, and as they're going out into their straightaway, the UFO flies right over top of the Thunderbirds. So pay close attention. Try to keep your eye on that side of the screen once I start the video. Okay? Melbourne Air Show, March 2014. And it's very quick. See,
Whoa, I saw that.
Did you see
I
it?
saw that.
now at home, I can pause it and stop it, and I've researched it over and over and over. There is an object. It's kind of triangular shape when I stop it and pause it, and it does fly over the Thunderbirds. And the first thing that come to my mind was they're toying with the Thunderbirds. So, if you don't believe now that UFOs really do exist, watch the skies when you're at the beach in Florida, and keep your eyes open and pay more attention. Thank you.